Hello, beautiful beings. How are we doing today? We're gonna work on a kitty cat today. Just a little furry kitty cat, you know? Little kitty cat. Hi, Sleepy. Hi, Stars. Hi, Tomato. Hi, Blib. Did I miss you? And thank you for pinning that, Stars. Yes, there is still a 5% off sticker sale going on till the end of this week, 16th. Hi, Tens. I also, that might be me, Stars, too. Although I'm not getting an encoding error right now. It might be either of us, honestly. Like, we did also have our internet go out once already today. So we reset the router and hopefully that fixes everything, but we will see. So in addition to the sticker sale, I have added a new sticker to our lineup. You guys may remember seeing me paint this on stream. It's a sticker now, and it's available in the shop. Yeah, it could be both. Who knows? And I do actually have this painting over here, so we can compare the painting and the sticky. See? I think I did a pretty good job, all things considered, getting the color correct on this. I did make it a little bit darker, but that's because, like, otherwise it doesn't show the color saturation the way that I like. Have to up the contrast a little bit. I also figured out why OBS was making everything louder. And it's really fucking stupid. So I fixed that. So my alerts will no longer scare the bejesus out of me. Although at any point, since I know why it does that now, we can make that return and you guys can spook me with stuff if you want. I don't know. So doing Grims, hello Grim. Doing Grims, yeah, sure. That's the whole word sentence that I wanted to say. Oh, I should move my tuber down a little bit too. Doing hams. I will do stretchies and sippies. And I will also, yeah, so what it does is if you are using a Bluetooth mic at all, so like not even if you are actively using the Bluetooth mic, if you have added a Bluetooth mic to your OBS as a sound source, it completely changes the entire audio for your stream, which includes how loud it is in the feedback for the streamer. And yes, that's really fucking stupid. I don't know. Because I added when my laptop was freaking out, I added my Bose headset, which is what I used to use for streaming, as a sound source. And because I did that, it made everything else louder, even if I wasn't actively using that mic. And apparently this is a problem both on Windows and Mac, because when I searched it, the reason I figured this out was because somebody was asking why Windows was doing that to them after an update without any, like, real changes. It turns out that they had a Bluetooth mic that OBS was picking up on, and that's why. And so if you were a streamer with more control over your soundboard than I have, you could probably fix that on your own. But also if you had more control over your sound, you probably wouldn't be using a Bluetooth mic. But yeah, so that's fucking annoying. But I fixed it. I figured it out and I fixed it, which is one good thing. I will also take a sippy before I forget. I have already talked to Sleepy about this today and a couple of other people, but I did really intensive research about something and discovered some tea. So last stream, we were talking about how I was researching brain spotting because my therapist recommended it. Well, she likes to use it, and so she said, you should research this and see if you're willing to do this. So I researched it, and I researched the guy who, invented it and trademarked the term. And he always puts PhD after his name, but doesn't say what his PhD is in. And it was not easy to find this information, but I have discovered what his PhD is actually in and what university he actually got it from. So I did really good research, and I also picked up on a way he was forming a sentence repeatedly that was manipulating information. So not only did I pick up on that, I picked up on it correctly and was able to prove myself correct. Which is pretty impressive, honestly. I'm pleased with myself. But that's how I spent much of my weekend. Was digging into this man's life until I found the answer to the question I was looking for, which was simply, what's your PhD in? That's it. And it took me like 5 hours to find the information. But I didn't stop because I'm a little bit crazy. So, if you guys would like to know the whole story, David Grant, who came up with brain spotting, is a licensed social worker. He got a legitimate degree in like a master's in social work from a real university in the 70s and has been working as a psychotherapist since. Basically, he focused on sports therapy for a long time, and then kind of branched out and worked. I mentioned last time, I think, that he worked with a lot of 9/11 survivors, which is how he came up with this method. But the way that he phrases that on his website is he says, is a licensed social worker and has a PhD from international university. And if you weren't like me and weren't raised by somebody who was climbing the college administration ladder, you might go, oh, so he's a licensed social worker and has a PhD in social work. The sentence is phrased very specifically to make you think that without actually saying that. And this sentence is repeated in every single speaking engagement that he has. So you know how they do like a little bio of whoever's going to be speaking? That exact sentence with that exact phrasing is used in every single one of his bios. So, International University, to start off, is not the full name of the college where he got his PhD from. And if you have spent any time around colleges, you might hear the phrase International University and go, that sounds kind of suspect already. The full name is International University of Graduate Studies, which sounds even more suspicious. And it is a small for-profit college in the Republic of Dominica that does online PhDs for people. And it is accredited by the Republic of Dominica, which has only accredited 3 things in their entire country. And their requirements are relatively low. And for those that don't know, accreditation is basically some kind of oversight board that looks at a college and says, okay, yes, you are actually teaching what you're saying you're teaching. You're teaching those at a level of quality that is consistent with other universities. And you're running your college in a way that is not manipulative, is actually using all the money. The money's not going, somewhere secret or whatever kind of a thing. And in the US, there is not one single oversight board like there would be in the Republic of Dominica, for instance, but you can get accreditation from multiple sources, and that guarantees that your credits at that college will often transfer over to other colleges because they will have been of the same quality level. So the International University of Graduate Studies is accredited through this specific country who have relatively low requirements. They have a variety of PhDs that you can get in, including social work. So I was like, okay, well, that's not all the way out of line with what was being said. So that's a possibility. And I go through this website, which is perhaps the worst university website I have ever seen. It was very clearly made with WordPress because the little WordPress logo is still on the tab image for the university website. Hi, Cap. I'm going off about the PhD again. Yeah. So, obviously, like, to me, this was obvious, like, very early on. But this is a degree mill, which is you pay to, like, do some classes, and you end up with a piece of paper that says something so you can legally use the term. For instance, the term PhD, but it is not of the same level of quality you would get at a university that was actually focused in studies, right? So I'm like, okay, so at the very least, he could have social work from a paper mill company, you know? No, he does not have a doctorate in social work. He has a PhD in philosophy from this college. And the only place you can find that information is on his LinkedIn, which requires a sign-in to see. So, even, like, I will say that the brain spotting thing, I can see how this would help people. I don't know if it'll help me or not. I'm willing to give it a go. But this guy is a disingenuous snake oil salesman, like 100%. I've also read the majority of his book on brain spotting, which is not very long, but it's more anecdotal and his own personal experiences and thoughts about how the brain works and less based in science. So generally speaking, when you're reading this kind of book about some sort of mental health method that somebody has come up with, you will have a lot of sources cited about how brains work and how, even if we don't fully know why it works in the brain, these are some theories that have some backing in how the brain works. That's not what his book is. Yeah. So, So I think really what he did was he paid for a degree so that he could put PhD after his name so that he would look more legit and could charge more for his services to certify people in brain spotting. Hi, Potato! Thank you for the lurk. And hi, Freezered. I didn't say hi because I was in the middle of my little rant here. So I'm really excited on Thursday to ask my therapist if she knows what his PhD is in and then go down this entire path, which, because I'm betting she doesn't. Yeah, and I'm also curious to ask her just in like a general sense how much it cost her to get certified in this method. Because I'm curious how much money he's making off of this. I will also say that the International University of Graduate Studies has an exclusive deal with the Brain Spotting Organization that is listed in one spot on their website, which is also sus as hell. Potato is like way better than this guy, I think. But yeah, he also, like, the reason I went down this whole path in the first place was because in his book and on his website, he claims to have helped cure fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. He also mentioned whiplash in his book, helped cure whiplash with this method. And as I'm going through his case studies, which are just, talking about people and how they went through this therapy, and really every single one of these stories that he tells is about how he added something else to his method because of this person, kind of a thing. Yeah, I know, Tens. It's wild. He puts PhD after his name on literally everything, including his own website. like in every single spot that his name is mentioned. So you don't just find David Grant, you find David Grant, PhD. And that is an easier way to find his information. But he definitely has kind of like, I think Sleepy mentioned that it kind of had essential oil, multi-level marketing vibes, and it does. Because he's claiming to have solved people's intense pain issues and stuff like that, which there is evidence that shows that people with PTSD and other mental health issues, but I'm more informed on PTSD because I've been researching it, have higher pain levels, are more likely to develop things like endometriosis, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME as it's been called now. You're also more likely, if you have a serious accident, to have more pain and more complications afterwards. So like there is evidence to show that your mental state does interact with your pain level and your physical health, right? So if you were going at it from that angle, yeah, I agree with you that helping somebody's mental health could also help lower their pain levels and help them control their physical issues more. Because if your body is stressed, because your brain is stressed, that also makes symptoms worse. But if you're saying that because you use this one method on somebody and their pain went down to 0, and you suspected, not a diagnosis, but suspected that they had fibromyalgia, that does not count as curing fibromyalgia by using this method, which is what he is trying to sell in his book. I don't think I'm going to finish his book. Honestly, I'm about like 70% of the way through. And I don't think I need to torture myself more by reading this guy's thoughts. Hi, BP! And hi, Oren. Sorry, I'm like really focused on my little rant here. Capitalism does suck. It's so true. But yeah. So I discovered all of this and I'm very pleased with myself. And that was a really long background to my compliment of being pleased with myself about the level of research and care I show to things. But yeah, I wanted to tell you all my little victory here. David Grant, Oren, who is the creator of brain spotting, which is a psychotherapy technique. And yeah, he's grody. I would not... Like, I think that his method, because a big focus of how he teaches brain spotting, even though he's not really certifying people anymore, it's kind of like a whole system because he has a business based around it now. One of his focuses is therapists should not just use one method. They should be informed by all of their other methods in their own career to bring whatever will help to this technique, which I think is probably why it has been as successful as it has for as many people as it has. Because therapists are bringing their own knowledge to it and are encouraged to do that in the courses. So I'll give it a go, but I will say I think that this guy's full of shit. Basically. Yeah, me, like, I very much feel when I'm talking about this, I very much feel like that meme from, what is it, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's like got the crazy hair and is pointing at the board with all the like yarn connecting points. I very much feel like that. Although I think that in general I have laid out a pretty clear to follow narrative here. But But yeah, I would not go to this guy, personally. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna draw a cat today also. Well, paint a cat. We're gonna start with the background though. So I have this piece of tape on here because we're gonna have a white edge so that it feels like the paw is coming out of the painting. Because I think that's fun. We did that also, this is just a print of it, but we did that for the Warm Golden Light painting too. This one is B print, so I'll probably give that away at some point. But so that it feels like it's coming out of the painting. And I like the vibes, you know? So we're gonna work on the background and then I can peel the tape up. But yeah, I haven't decided what I want this to be. Maybe wood. In the reference photo, it's like an edge of a like metal railing. Me trying to figure out what the fuck words are. Like a gutter kind of a situation. Thank you. I mean, you guys kind of do because you keep showing up to my stream. And you may not know what the topic is when you show up, but the chances of me going off on something are like 98%. I generally get up on my little soapbox and give you guys a lecture. Because obviously, so the cat's gonna be orange. I don't know if you could figure that out from the pumpkin situation here, but I do know that I'm gonna have like kind of a cloudy wooded scene in the background here that's very blurry. So we're gonna do that for sure. So I could make this like wood, but I could also make it something that's a color that will contrast with the cat to make him pop out a little bit more. And I haven't decided yet. So we're gonna start with like the background up here and then we'll figure out what we're doing from there. Because the paw is from a different reference image. So it's not as hairy as I think that this guy's actual paw would be. So I kind of want to get the tape up off of there so I can make his paw furrier if I want to. I'm just getting the paper wet so we can do some blurs here. I wish that brains wouldn't just poop out whatever thought you have like that. Sorry, I just got Blurred Lines stuck in my head, which is a song that I hate because I said blurred because my brain doesn't work right. And I don't like that. God, there was an Instagram trend for a bit where they were just using like the opening riff to Blurred Lines to put behind reels and stuff, and it was just like I don't want to hear that, man. Like it's a good riff, and I would have liked it if it was not, you know, over a repeat of a disgusting white man saying, "I know you want it." You know? Hi, Illuminati. Good to see you. Can we get a shout out for Illuminati, please? Okay. We're gonna do... I could have cleaned my palette before we started this, you know? Thank you. Ooh. We're just gonna do like little blurbs here. It's gonna end up looking like a kind of blurred forest scene, which is similar to what's going on in the reference. I'm not using the reference to do the background though, because like when I can just go blop, 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 blop and have it look good, you know? Yeah, it's it's something. I still remember because I was working at the college bookstore when that song came out, and that was like the only place I listened to the radio because that was like what we had. Um, so I heard it a lot because it was a very popular song. And one of the guys that I worked with was asking me why I didn't like it, and I was explaining that it was basically a song about date rape. And he like literally laughed in my face and said nobody would make a song about that. And I'm like, oh, Kevin, you need to listen to the other people in your life more often. He was generally a nice guy, but he was young and an attractive white boy. So he had not gotten the memo about that. To be fair, Baby It's Cold Outside does have historical reference that we no longer, like historical context that we no longer use, which is why it sounds as bad as it sounds. Cause like, so I don't know about everybody, but you know when you were a teenager and you really wanted to hang out with somebody, but your parents were being weird about it. So you had to come up with like an excuse for why you were hanging out. Like saying, oh, we're gonna work on our history papers together. That's basically what that song is. So it's a woman who wants to stay with her boyfriend, but that is not proper. So she's coming up with a reason, and he's helping her to like enforce that reason. That's fair. But again, that there is context for that, which is you say, oh, this is a very this drink is really strong all of a sudden. I think I've maybe had a little bit too much to drink to make it home. And you could tell your parents that you just had too much mulled wine. It's fine, like we didn't do anything. I was just, a little out of it, so I stayed there until I felt better. But I do understand where you're coming from, Oren, 100%. But yeah, it's and honestly, the "what's in this drink" line specifically is one that my great grandmother used. Because so you guys can have some lore here, some Katie family lore. So my great grandmother got pregnant out of wedlock. When she was 16. And her family was not a big fan of that until the baby was born. And then they eased up on it a little bit. But the "what's in this drink" line is one that she 100% had used with my great-grandfather. Not when she was 16, but later. Because he would mix her drinks and stuff, and she would just drink them, and then all of a sudden she'd be way drunker than she meant to be, kind of a thing. But she was having fun with it, It was kind of like a bit that they did together, the way she described it. I didn't get to meet my great-grandfather. He passed away before I was born. But but yeah, of that era, it is a thing, or was a thing, however you want to say that. But yeah, I can still, to be clear, I can add that context if that still makes you uncomfortable. That's fine, because I do definitely have some issues with, especially like modern covers of that song. Like for instance, Zooey Deschanel and who is it? Like Willie Nelson or something. Somebody who is significantly older than her. And that definitely gives it a different vibe. Hi, Shani. Yeah, if it still makes you uncomfortable, Totally valid. I get it. But we can always have a more informed opinion, you know? Yeah, no, I did see Orin. I was kind of just expanding on that thought. And I figured that, I don't know, we have discussions, so I figured you wouldn't mind that much. Hey, Papa. Is Greg not giving you enough pets? I had to use my neck traction device today because my neck is fucked up. So I used that. Oh, sorry, Bubs. I used that when I was doing my meditation, because the meditation is 10 minutes. And like that's about the amount that you're supposed to use the traction device for. And he was not entirely sure about that. Yeah, that's fair, Tins. Although, honestly, I feel like the longer somebody is rich, the more likely they are to be outed as a bad person, because the more likely they are to fall further into the bad person loop. Shout out to Khan for sitting on my chest for approximately 3 seconds after he walked all over my flat stomach while I was trying to meditate. He always, he enjoys sitting on Greg's chest, and he will, try to sit on my chest, and then he will be there for about 2 minutes and go, this isn't as comfortable, there's stuff in the way. Stuff being my tits. Yeah, honestly, Freezered. And, again, because I am the kind of person that I am and the way that I was raised, I would use a lot of it to set up a trust fund situation that would help people. Because if you have a corporation like that, it's a lot easier to make sure the money goes to where it's supposed to go. And it's out of your control. So, yeah, honestly, Cap. Which I think is a point that you and Khan differ on. I'd like a chunk of pigment. Oh, get out of there. Alright, since Khan has walked off, I'm going to clean my palette now, because it's messy. It's mostly just that he doesn't like the spray bottle. Because anytime I spray it, because I was using it to spray him when he was... Yeah, he blinked at me again. Anytime I use this spray bottle now, he does the weird squinty eyes at me because I sprayed him in the face twice. Since he's moved in. He's been here for 6 months, I will point out. I've sprayed him in the face with that spray bottle exactly twice. And it is a light mist. It is not a violent spray bottle. But now every time he hears it, he's like, ugh! It's okay, Bubba. You're good. I've been looking... Okay, this is a little bit of a tangent, but you guys are using the spray bottle emote, which is one that I'm very proud of, actually. I really like how that one turned out. But I've been, looking more into, SEO stuff, so search engine optimization for my website. And I mentioned to you guys that one of my friends was helping me out with that, because that used to be her day job. And so looking into where I get Google traffic from, almost all of it is people looking for a spray bottle animation. And I have that, for sale on my website. And so they go directly to there. And I think that's really funny. Because, like, the reason I made one was because I couldn't find one that I liked, right? And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this anyway, I'll just make it an emote. But my friend did give me some tips for making that a little better. And, you know, once I have like 5 seconds, I will start working on that. So you can look forward to a blog coming to tundrakatiebean.com soon. No, that is not a small number. I would like that number. That would be nice. Yeah, honestly, tens. Because I feel like, especially like us internet folks are way more likely to spread that out to artists and creators that we like and stuff like that, you know? Dinos. We love a dinosaur. And I will say that if anybody is going to win the prize for amount of monetary support, it's going to be the furries. Like, we all know. Yeah, honestly. There was... I forget what exactly it was, but there was somebody talking about how they were so angry that they only had X amount of money to do something. It was like they got $10,000 for something. And I was like, $10,000 would like change my life. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, and it's just like, I get that it's relative, so like that wouldn't make a huge difference for some people, but for like the majority of people that I know and hang out with, that would be like absolutely wild. Because, like, even if you just, for instance, if you were doing just fine and you just took that money and put it in a savings account or something, right? You wouldn't be one paycheck away from complete financial disaster, you know? So, like, if your car broke down or something, you would actually be able to fix it without stressing about it, you know? Yeah, exactly, Sleepy. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I was thinking about him, like, if I had that level of money, I wouldn't have to worry about how I could move out of Alaska. I could just do it and go where I wanted, you know? Which is, yeah, I don't know. Some people, that means nothing to them. I always think about that, actually, because, like, there are often stories that get passed around the internet, right? Where, like, somebody couldn't afford something at the grocery store, and so somebody paid for it. Like, the person behind them in line paid for it for them. And then a bunch of people will, like, get up in arms, like, oh, you fell for a trap. You fell for, you know, something that was planned, a scam to get you, kind of a thing. It's like, okay, if I just paid, you know, $25 so that this woman behind me who was holding a child could have a pack of eggs, I think I'm okay with that. Like, in what land is your life going to end for the person who is speaking about this if you are out $50? Like, yeah, it's wild. It's like, I don't know. If you get scammed trying to help somebody, like, there are some scams that are like legitimate scams that mess with people. There's one specific person who regularly runs scam accounts on Tumblr, for instance. And like, yeah, it sucks, especially since they keep doing it repeatedly. But if you lose money because you were trying to help somebody, like, there are much worse fates. You know? If my greatest sin is losing $30 to somebody who didn't actually need help, I think I'll be okay. You know? Yeah, exactly. Like, how dare you help somebody without knowing if they were willing to work for it? Like, what are you talking about? Get well soon. Yeah, exactly. It's wild to me. I think somebody could take this background and turn it into a D&D continent. Me just like, okay, I made some blobs. Maybe I can have a new business technique where I will create a continent for you, which is really just me slapping paint on paper without any thought or reason. Yeah. I'm gonna need to mess with it a little bit more, I think. Just to get some of the like texture in the trees so that it feels a little bit less mappy. Maybe I'll do that. I know Greg a while back was going to commission me to do a D&D map for him. But both of our lives kind of exploded since then, so maybe I'll test that out. Actually, you know what I could do to test it out? I could ask Grim for the map for the world that she's running for us. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about, Tomato. We can go on a whole nother tangent here about how people hate addicts so much that they would rather homeless people starve in case they spend money on alcohol or drugs. Which, like, yeah, if you were in that situation, you would want to spend some money on making yourself feel less miserable, especially if you only have enough money for that and not enough money to buy a house. You know what I mean? It's very much the same vibe of, oh, well, stop buying lattes and you can afford a home. Like, those are two completely separate things with way different, like, monetary values. Very much like, it's a banana. What could it cost? $10? Yeah, exactly, Illuminati. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much Wib, although I wouldn't charge that much, honestly. But maybe I'll make some, like, free download ones just for funsies with some of my, like, scratch paper that people can use. Because that will, again, I hate having to think about this, but that will be a good thing for search engine optimization. Yeah, honestly, Arin. And, like, not to, like, completely out Arin right now, but you are one of the most generous people I've ever met in my entire life. Doodle also gets to go on that list. But, like, you're just a good person, you know? And honestly, we live in a world where just being kind is seen as something weird a lot of the time. So it can get, like, really exhausting if you are a kind person or if you want to be a kind person, because I do think that kindness is a skill and a muscle, you know? You can work on it. But it does get exhausting. So when you find other people who are like, yes, I also believe in true human rights, It's like, oh, thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad, Sleepy. Because, like, I don't know. Like, yes, sometimes kindness costs us something. But in general, like, it's really not that bad. Like, it's not gonna bankrupt us. It's, you know, just showing somebody the same kind of human kindness that you would appreciate if you were in the same situation. It doesn't take that much. Yep, same, Oren. I feel ya. I think part of the reason this looks more mappy than tree is because I've made very, like, curvy lines for the sky to show through instead of making them straight like a tree branch would be. So let's see if I can alter that a little bit and make it feel different. Because I think that already is a little less mappy and a little bit more tree. That is such a Sleepy thing to say. A little tweet. I have some salmiakki. Thank you for the treat, Sean. I'm almost out of salmiakki in this box. I bought these specifically to be little stream treats. Ooh. I'm having 3 of them because they were all stuck together, so it counts as one. That's the rules. I should get some more little treats for the table, actually. We do have some Halloween candy that we end up not using over there that I can probably co-opt. Flop. Agreed, Sleepy. So, like, I was raised religious. My mom was religious, and we were in church a lot. Because she was just very involved in church. So I was raised Pacific Northwest Methodist, and you need to specify that because the Pacific Northwest Methodists are the ones who are generally okay with gay people.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thank you. So, like, I was very aware of religion as I was growing up, and I'm agnostic now. The way I describe it, and I said this to my therapist too, and she thought it was really funny, is I just think it's above my pay grade. Like, I don't need to know if there's some huge thing going on in the universe. Like, that I'm busy. I have painting to do. I don't need to worry about a higher power, you know? Oh, yeah, good luck, Freezer. And thank you for popping in. Thank you. Yeah, see, this side reads more tree than this side does. I think I need to mess with the edges here, and that will help a bit. But you're so impressive, babe. I need to decide what I want to do for this. I might maybe just like a warm gray kind of a situation. Because that will make the cat stand out too. Because he's gonna be orange. Yeah, I think that's maybe the play. And we'll make up that it's metal. I did significantly change that part of the reference image. Yes, orange flavored. Okay. Let me mess with this a little bit. Let's see what I think. Because I think just making the edges a little less smooth will help a lot. And making it read tree. Oh, it's also, I guess I haven't told you guys this, but it's really cold here today. Which I already had set up the space heater in this room when it started getting a little bit cold. So it's not that cold out here, but it's cold enough that I'm wearing socks. And I hate wearing socks, so. My feet need to be free. My feet were not made to be covered. Yeah, but I mean, I told Stars, because Stars was, if you guys aren't in the Discord, you didn't see that Stars was making stew today, and it looked really good. But Stars mentioned to me this morning that she was making stew, and I was like, it's really good stew weather here, actually. Because it was -9 Celsius, which is 18-ish Fahrenheit, when I was talking to Stars, and I told her that. So, it's been chilly. I'm cold. I mean, honestly, sometimes it isn't that cold this time of year, especially lately because, well, climate change. But you know. Okay, I do think that reads more tree, so I just needed to do blue and then layer up the green, I think. And that will still get kind of like the smoother background vibe, well, the blurry background vibe without taking me 6,000 years, you know? I do think that D&D map idea is a good one. You have to tell us what's for supper when you get back. I don't know what our plan is. No, I'm making my own dinner today. That's what the plan is. I do know what the plan is. I just forgot. Good, Shani. Yeah, have some rest. You deserve it. Yeah, I'm thinking, so like, if I do that, it doesn't need to be that expensive, really. So I do have like a formula for how I decide like the general area of how expensive my originals are, which is based on size. But I also adjust that based on how much work the painting itself was, so like how much time I spent on it. And just, there's also like a vibe check where I'm like, I never want to see this painting again. I'm tired of it and I don't like it. It's cheaper so that it's more likely to sell. Ooh, yummy. Oh, that sounds awful, Marty. I'm sorry. I also ended up locked out of the house sometimes, but I lived in Portland, Oregon, so it was not that cold ever. Thank you. And yes, I think that was the key. I think I needed to just layer the blue beneath it to help that a bit. Then I'll probably add some more just brush tappies. And other colors to make it feel a little bit more shaded. So the thing, I do trust the process often, but the thing about the process is that I also need to decide each of the steps of the process as I'm going through it. So I do need to like think out loud about it sometimes. That makes sense, Oren. Especially like in any sort of building where you don't have like control over all the pieces. The like heat level will want to even out, right? So you end up being closer to everybody else. Just because that's how physics works. Yeah. But to be fair, like, if they're paying for it, let them pay for it and help you out, you know? Paying for your own heating in this economy? Yep, I feel that too, Sleepy. Honestly, I think that's really like an old house thing. Because, like, so I live in a place where it's cold. I think we've all figured that out. Which means that often our houses have, like, way more insulation and stuff to keep it warmer in the winter. But that also means that if it's the summer, it stays really hot. And our house has, like, the exact right amount of insulation and like sun level during the summer to be hot as fuck, and then it's old enough to be really cold in the winter. So it's like the worst of both worlds. I should show you guys the reference photo for this one, actually. It's a fun photo. I was just looking on Pixabay because they have a bunch of like free to use photos. And as a painter, you have to be really careful about, and any sort of art, honestly, artist, you need to be careful about what sort of photos you use for reference, especially if you're doing something like photorealistic-ish.
Bring this down.
Oh, cool. Yep, disconnected.
Start this again.
All right.
GCI.
Hmm?
The ongoing shitification of GCI.
Yeah, honestly.
It's trying.
Yeah, it's not good.
Best be careful, don't get familiar with the caving
Yes, it's maybe connected. Come on, buddy, you can do it.
trick of all who surround you. Captured
And I was right, he has not even vaguely noticed that the door is open. I will need help moving the air mattress, I think, but I need to clean up that closet first.
I felt the plane break, strange rays, lead boots, manhood creaking, and then knowing that just a touch, think
You
nothing
want him to catch me?
when I finger
He wants cheese.
carve your eyes up blank as the paper. You know you don't need them. Try not to scream when you
That's gonna be the print for next month.
Are you good there, bruh?
I felt the
Buddy?
strange thing, wild eyes inside, slowly moving like
Not a good sign. Oh. Now it says it's connected. GCI's been replacing pumps in the area, so
I see. Okay, that's good information to know. Thank you. Yeah, that they just are working on it, and therefore everything explodes. Oh my god, I meditated like with my neck tension pillow today, and he was like, I don't know about all this, and he like got on my chest at one point. He was like, not comfy enough, and then ended up like sleeping right here next to me while I was doing it. That's pretty much what he does to me. I think he likes your chest better because you don't have boobs.
But I think he doesn't like my chest because it's not soft enough.
Maybe. But he does really enjoy stomping on my stomach. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, it says it worked. Did it work? You guys hear me? Hi. Okay. We're back. Oh boy. Hi everyone. Yeah, so I said in chat, but Greg was out here talking with me about it, and apparently the internet company that we use, there's only like 2 up here anyway, but they're replacing some hubs in our area, which is probably what has been causing all of our outages. Which has been a repeated thing for the past week and a half. Thank you, Sleepy. And thank you for the hydrate. I did take a sippy. Thank you, both of you. And for those who didn't hear at the beginning of the stream, I do have a new sticker design up in my shop in addition with the coupon code. So you can get this one for cheaper. The crystal boba that you guys saw me paint on stream is now live in my shop. That yesterday at 3 in the morning. Don't worry about it. I say did that yesterday. I did it the day before, and then I posted on socials at 3 in the morning yesterday. I really like it too. We are. Hi, Aria. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in too. I know that's always frustrating. Like, I guess frustrating isn't the right word, but it's like one of those things where everything goes down and you're like, oh shit, is that my fault? Is my internet down? I think that you can probably deduce based on what I told you yesterday morning why I was up at that time gap. I guess it was yesterday afternoon for you. Yeah, for this it wasn't that bad for me. honestly, the stuff with the internet doesn't bother me as much as, especially since I knew that it was likely to happen since we already had an outage this week. That's not as frustrating as the OBS stuff, because I am much less adept with OBS. Like, I'm using it. Do I really know how all of it works? Absolutely not. So if something breaks, it's harder for me to figure that out, especially on the fly when everybody's looking at me. You know? And that part stresses me out. I have a lot of problem, and I've discovered this is a problem for me in D&D too. But I have a lot of problem like thinking and working on something that's difficult for me when I have other stimuli going. So if I'm trying to think about what to do and somebody's talking, or if I'm trying to figure something out that's already a little bit frustrating and like chats going and stuff like that, that really messes with my self-regulation. So that's often why I'm upset. And as long as I have some time to like take a breath. I did take a photo while we were down, Shawnee. So you can refund that if you want your one jelly bean back. Oh, thank you, Aaron, for gifting Bewitch. That's so sweet of you. And hi, Bewitch. But yeah, so I know that happens now. I know why it's happening. So as long as I give myself a second after that, I will come back pretty well. You know. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, honestly, Sleepy. Like, it... Especially when you have, like... So, for instance, one of the reasons why I got so upset when my laptop shit out while Cap was on my stream was, like... So, there's multiple layers to it. So, not only do I have Cap talking to me and trying to calm me down, right? I also have chat going. And I also, you know, was really looking forward to something that had been rescheduled 2 times already, which you guys know, I'm schedule weird. I need schedule good. So like the layers of frustration build up, right? So it's like the final drop that makes the like water bubble pop, you know? Yeah, I do need the schedule. If I do not have the schedule, my brain tries to eat itself. Hi, Dissy! I did think it was really, really funny when I came into your stream, Rainbow, about therapy after it had been rescheduled and they didn't tell me also. That my appointment was canceled, and you're like, oh, you fucking hated that, didn't you? I mean, you didn't say fucking, but your tone did. And I was like, yep, I sure did. I did hate that. Yeah, once, I guess I haven't talked about something really big. We'll see if I cry while I'm talking about it, and I can go into some of the information on why I'm crying, if that happens. Because I'm not sure who all knew. I don't have, like, the full background information. But I have been gifted a new laptop. So once I get that set up, I should be able to, fingers crossed, actually have a proper collab with people where my laptop doesn't, you know, drop 35,000 frames and shit itself anytime an alert comes up. So I don't know when I'm gonna have time to set that up. Yeah, I opened it on Monday after I got home from work. Yeah, Doodle and Cap and Tomato and Sleepy and Amma all set something up. They did I don't know the full information for the background, but Doodle did say that they did a GoFundMe to buy me a new laptop that was gifted to me. It is going to have a different operating system than what I'm working on now, which is going to take some getting used to for me, which is going to take a little bit more time, and I am going to need to, like, set it up and figure out how to transfer everything over and all that kind of stuff, and I just do not have breathing space until mid-December. And honestly, mid-December, I'm probably going to turn into a potato for 2 weeks. Because until, like, December 14th, I do not have a single day where I am not doing something. So like the only day that I could like really take off would be a Saturday or Sunday, and I have other work that I need to do during those days. So I'm busy and my brain is full of stuff. I'm not like I'm not stressing myself out about it, but I am telling you guys that yes, that's there. I will just set it up when I have the time. Yeah, and I know that nobody's pressuring me. I am going to be the one who is pressuring me the most about that. I'm very aware because I am the worst about giving myself accommodations. So yeah, it was not a good explosion. I don't think I've cried that hard about a stream fail in an ever, actually. Like sometimes I get frustrated and I have a couple tears or something, but that was like a full-on meltdown. So yes, thank you, Sleepy. I will. And that's partially just because I have a lot of other stressors going on, and the explosion was also just because I have like a lot of stressors going on right now. So my tolerance level is much lower than it normally is. Well, that's not accurate. My bucket is closer to overflowing, which is why it feels like it overflows faster. So yeah, I just have a lot going on, and it's okay. Like, I can handle it. It's fine. But it is one of those things where I feel the need to constantly explain it. So, yeah. Yeah, I legitimately thought that while my voice was cracking up and I said that I needed to take a minute before stream fully shit itself. Rainbow, I was like, oh good. I'm pulling a rainbow. She'll feel better about that now. Cause like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And I will say that like in a big picture Katie Brain way, the fact that I actually like I actually need to cry for a second, you guys, and left is like huge progress for me. Huge. Because normally what would happen is I would tamp that down and lock a little lid on it, and it would stay in there until it exploded like a pressure cooker. Which is also not very healthy. So, we've made a lot of progress, and we can take that, difficult moment and say, okay, yes, that was hard, but also it shows a lot of growth that's really important. Good, I'm glad, Oren, that you got your cry out that you needed. Because we were talking about it, was it last stream? How sometimes, like, especially if you've been, like, in a traumatic situation where your emotions aren't safe, you have to, like, trick yourself into crying. Thank you, Shawnee, and you do too. Yeah, exactly. So, like, one of the things that a lot of the books that I've read about mental health stuff has pointed out is that the coping mechanism that you have that is no longer healthy now was what kept you safe before. And that's part of why it's so hard to let that go. So really you can look at something and instead of getting frustrated with yourself that you can't behave quote unquote normally or whatever, which I do still have problems with dealing with that, you can just thank the coping mechanism for keeping you safe when you needed it, but you don't need it anymore. Very much the like Marie Kondo that trauma out of your brain, just like, I don't need this ripped up coping mechanism anymore. Thank you for serving me while you did. But you're gonna go in the trash. You gotta Marie Kondo your brain, friends. Okay. Continuing on with this, I am going to shade the tree a little bit, like the branches, leaf area, so that it looks darker on the bottom, just because I think that will differentiate the stuff a little bit more, and I'll probably add some yellow up top. Yeah, exactly. There was I think it was a week maybe, where somebody mentioned that their therapist said something was no longer serving, and like the you was implied, but I do like the idea of going like, this is no longer serving, and like gay snapping it right out of my life. I'm missing a lot of chat. Hang on, I gotta scroll back. Yeah, Illuminati. And honestly, you crying when you hear that, because I do that too. That's your brain rewiring itself. Which is hard. It's hard to have stuff rewire, you know? That's a mood, Dissy. Yeah, I often tear up with Rainbow too, honestly. Yeah, exactly, Oren. Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. Big same. And yeah, we can all work on this together. We aren't in it by ourselves, and we don't need to be in it by ourselves anymore, even if we had to be hyper independent in order to get to the point where we are. We don't have to do that anymore. We have help. And sometimes it's scary to ask for help, but it's still there for you. Which is something that I definitely struggle with, and Cap can say that right out, because often he's like, I want to help, and I'm like, I don't know. Or I will like complain about something that I did on my own, and he's like, why didn't you ask? I would have helped you with that. I'm like, it just genuinely did not occur to me that I could ask for help. Which says a lot about how I grew up. You're gonna get there, Sleepy. You are. Because you've already done like so much growth. You're gonna get there. It'll be okay. Yeah. I've gotten a lot better about it, honestly. And Cap has been a big help with that specifically. Because like, you guys want to know a business help thing? Actually, there's some exciting information that I guess I haven't actually shared with anybody but Cap. And Jen, who is helping me. But I talked to you guys about a little 3D printed folding mechanism to do the Bugnanza trading pack. Like wrappers. I'm trying. My word recall is not great right now. And I talked to one person to help me about getting it printed, and it was going to be too big for the printer that he had. So I kind of like, I mentioned it in a Patreon post. That, you know, if anybody else has, you know, connections, that would be great, because we do have a 3D printing lab at the university here, but it is only for students and faculty. I do not, as a temp employee, count for that requirement. So I could have probably worked on something with my brother, but he's like so busy too. But Jen lives near a university, who comes in sometimes. She's mostly a lurker, but Jumble Jen, if you don't know. Who is one of the sweetest people in the entire world. Yeah, kind of like that, Shawnee, except plastic. But she offered to help because her husband works at a university nearby them. And they do have a printing lab. And it's already printed. It's printed. They just have to ship it to me, you guys. I'm really excited. And it was so cheap too, because I was like, so the pattern that I got for this was like $13 basically, off of Etsy, which was not a thing that existed the last time I looked at this packaging. It was a very new shop, which is fabulous. I love that. And so I was like, okay, considering how much like effort this is going to save me, if this costs $50 or less, I think that's worth it. If it costs more than that, it wouldn't be worth it, I think, for me. I could just hand fold the packages. It was like $17 with tax. It's so cheap. What the hell? And plus shipping, I haven't gotten the shipping cost concept yet, but it's light, so it's not going to like be a crazy expensive amount to ship it to me. So like with shipping, it's probably going to end up being like $40 total. Yeah, what the hell? When I say whata, it's WUDDA. Whata. That's how I spell it in chat. So the next time you see me say that in somebody's chat, that's how it sounds. It's what the hell? But yeah, it's so cheap and good. And I'm really excited about it because I've been putting off designing the packaging because I want to see exactly where the fold lines are with this before I design my packaging. Because if I design it and then I have to move something, I'm going to get pissed off. Because I have control issues. This is the short version of that. But like, once I have something a certain way, I want it to stay that way. And if I have to change it, I get cranky about it. Yes, I'm neurodivergent. I don't know if you could tell. So I'm waiting to get that before I start designing the packaging, because I will fold a sheet of paper so that I know exactly where it's going to go and all that kind of stuff. So my plan is to fold it and then flatten it back out and put lines on the paper and then scan it and use that as a template for the design. Oh yeah. Good luck with not napping, and thank you for the lurk. Sometimes tens, but not always. Because I do have like, and this apparently isn't how everybody works, but I do have like an in-head reading voice that's specific to how I read. So like in general, that's how I'm reading. But if somebody says something that is very them, then I hear it in their voice. Excuse me. I'm still a little eepy. I didn't sleep well like over the weekend and Monday night, so I'm still like catching up. But there are times when because I type very much, specifically in like Twitch streams and stuff, I very much type the way that I talk with friends, like casually. And there are definitely times where I will type something and then the streamer will read it out exactly the way it sounded in my head. And I get really, really pleased about it. Rainbow manages that a lot with me. It's like, I'm so glad you know me. Sleepy too will do that, where I'll type something weird because I have Tumblr phraseology. And it'll say the exact same way. I'm like, yes, perfect. I'm so glad you understand me. Yes, this is true. And say a lot less cursed shit when you're in person. I think maybe you just realize, like your brain realizes you're within slapping distance, so you keep a better handle on it. Yeah, it takes some work, Illuminati, for sure. And like if I'm doing I actually got like a lowered grade for this at one point in college. But if I'm doing like an academic paper or if I'm typing something informational, I have a very different voice than if I'm just typing for funsies or if I'm talking. And one of my teachers like lowered a grade on my paper because she was like, I don't hear your voice in this. And so in the next like peer review session, one of my questions that I put on the paper was, did my voice come through? And everybody said yes. And so she shut up about it. But like, of course I don't sound the same way when I'm writing an academic paper as when I'm just like talking with my friends. What are you on about? Such a weird concept to be like, I heard you like laughing about a fart before class and you didn't make that into your paper about Frida Kahlo, so I don't think that you are actually writing your papers. Like, what are you talking about? Ooh, that's neat, Wib. I did consider when I was looking at this person's the person who made the template that I'm using, the file, I did consider like messaging them and asking if they would make it a different size for me, because I did need to change the size to fit my stickers. Otherwise I would have needed to make them smaller. Okay, I think that we have accomplished tree pretty well here. I think that's good, and I don't think I need to add more information to it. I think that's pretty solid. But because of the whole... Sorry, I'm jumping back to the topic I was talking about before. Because of the whole import thing, I couldn't. So the tariff situation, because the guy who made this lives in Spain, and he does print the things that he sells and would have, you know, made me one and sent it to me probably, but I wouldn't have been able to like afford it once it came into the country. Yeah, it really is, Wib. Especially like anything accessible costs so much more than it needs to. So like I saw because I do get targeted disability ads a lot, because I mean I am disabled, and also I have a lot of disabled friends. But there was a adaptive kitchen item where you could attach a second handle onto a like cooking pan that had a upright handle so that you could hold it like this, where the other handle would be up against your arm, so that it was much easier on your muscles and on your wrist to lift up. It was like $50 for a piece of plastic, basically. It's like, people shouldn't have to pay to be able to use basic things in their house. You know? Like, it drives me nuts.
Capitalism sucks.
Capitalism does suck, and it's ruining all of our lives. Yeah, exactly. So, like, as soon as... And this is why a lot of companies have gotten, like big diaper babies about stuff. If you have, for instance, open source on something, or if you, like, have an open recipe for an item that you're selling, people can make it themselves for cheaper, and they will. Which is why we have things like copyright and trademarks and patents. And big companies have huge lawyer departments that go after anybody who, quote unquote, steals their profits. So yeah, capitalism sucks. And I find that especially frustrating because there's like the term ADHD tax or disabled tax, or pink tax, all of these things, right? Where you have to end up paying extra. So even for people who are unable to work or can only work a little bit or can only work weird jobs where they have control over their own environment, like we make less money. Disabled people in general make way less money than able people do. And we also have to pay more for basically anything that helps us live our lives. This also goes for fat people. Yep, or you just suffer. Like, it's so messed up. Exactly, Oren. It's almost like it's baked in eugenics. Almost like that. And yeah, fat tax is really real. I'm fat. I have trouble finding clothes that fit. And clothes that fit for less than, $50 for a shirt, which is ridiculous. Yep. Yeah, it's almost like that. Which has gotten a lot worse lately, honestly, the eugenics thing. Which I think that you guys can figure that out. The rest of that out on your own, and I don't need to go on the ramble. Yes, you're welcome. I haven't tried leaning into that mic and whispering much. Like, I know how to do it with my headset, but I haven't done it with the stand-up mic, so I'm glad that that worked. Because I always think the lean in is really funny, honestly, when people do that. So I like to do that. Oh, a little bit more texture on that guy. Okay. We've come to a point where we need to make a real decision. Which sucks, but... Ooh, you're so close! I am looking to... I'm not going to finish that sentence, but I need to remember that this spot is going to have some green behind it too, so that it looks kind of clear. His ear whiskers. Oh, I said that I was going to show you guys this reference image, and then I didn't. I did actually also talk to my therapist about moving out of the country, because I specifically mentioned that I didn't want an autism diagnosis because it would make me a worse candidate for immigration for a lot of places that I would be interested in going. Because like right now I'm not a good candidate. I am aware that I cost more than I produce. Which it sucks that countries have to think like that. But again. Yes, absolutely. Showing you reference image. That's what I was doing. I was like, why the hell did I pick this up? This is our reference image. Isn't he a handsome lad? But you see what I mean about in the reference image, the edge being like a, or like a gutter kind of vibe or something. So I made it flat, and we're gonna make it something that isn't that. And I will say the person who took this photo and put it up for free use on Pixabay, this is really clearly their cat, because there's other photos of the same cat at different stages in its life. Oh, good luck going home. Safe travels. Yeah, so it is a random cat for me, but I do believe that it is the photographer's pet. And these are relatively recent, so I would guess that the pet's still around. But I did follow the photographer who took this on Instagram, and they followed me back, actually. So I'll probably tag them when I post the painting, and I will probably also offer to send it to them at a discount if they're interested in having it, since it's their pet. Because I don't know, I just think that's nice. I am going to make this, I don't know that I said this outright, but this is going to be the print for next month's print club. That's my plan, unless I don't know, I do something and I don't like the way it turns out to the point that I don't want to send it to people. We'll see. Because I have not painted a lot of pets before, so this is going to be a task. Actually, I think I have painted exactly one pet. And it's my dad's dog, with a photo that I took myself. So, but it turned out well. I have talent. I'm not like that concerned about it, but we'll see how much I learn doing this piece. I'll phrase it that way. But yeah, I would like to offer this to the person who took the photo as like, one, a thank you for putting up photos that I can use to reference in my paintings for freebies. And also, I just think it's nice to offer the person whose pet it is the because I would like, part of the reason that I'm leaning into, well, leaning into is not really the correct phrase, but one reason I would like to start working on more pet paintings is because pet commissions are a big money earner. So it's a wise business decision. So if I could get to a point where I'm comfortable doing this, that would be great, because I could put that as an option on my commissions and probably make more money, and also get a lot more scam offers. But I'm smart enough to avoid those for the most part. So, but yeah. I do have another one, another pet that I want to paint as a gift for somebody who lost their pet. And I'll probably, now that I have the capability of doing prints, I will probably send that to the person whose pet it was, and also the person who's helping source photos of the pet, because they also lived with the pet for a while. Yeah, I could never just do something just for the sake of doing it. I have to turn it into something. You know what I mean? So like, if I decide, oh, I kind of want to knit something right now, I'll go, okay, well, I will work on knitting a hat for my aunt who's going through chemo, kind of a thing. I never just go, oh, I'll just knit a scarf. I don't know where it'll go. I always have to turn it into a something. And that's also, I feel like that's really obvious in my art a lot of the time, because I'll go, for instance, I'll go, oh, I made this design in Sticky Business, and I would like to like paint it the way that I would like that image to be versus what the image looks like in Sticky Business with like copy and paste image options. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. What flavor should I make the boba? And then I go, oh, well, I can put way too much meaning in this and make the boba flavors what my boyfriend, his daughter, and I would get. So it's like we're a little trio. You know, I cannot do something simply. I have to add more meaning into it. I need details or my brain will explode. So like I always add like more meaning, or I add like a gift element to like basically everything that I do. Just because I'm like that as a person. Is it? That's great. I love that. Yeah. I was thinking about this before too. And I don't, have I mentioned this here? Maybe. But I think another like really obvious sign of the neurodivergence for me, especially in my art, is that I don't draw figures. Like I don't draw people, like ever. I did like a couple vague body figures when I did my visual dream journal project, but it was mostly me. I mostly do stuff. So for instance, oh no, Sleepy, I'm sorry. But for instance, so the fruitcake sticker that I did for last December's sticker club, I was like, oh, it would be really funny to do a fruitcake sticker, because there's always that joke about people getting fruitcake that they don't want for the holidays. So what I did was, my plan was to make a full-size sticker of a fruitcake, and then also send each patron a mini sticker of the same fruitcake that they could give to somebody else. And I still think that's really fucking funny. I'm great. But as I was doing that, I was like, okay, well, I wouldn't want to make like mass-produce. I wouldn't want to paint mass-produced fruitcake. I would want to paint the one that my grandma made when we were growing up. And then I was like, well, I don't want just the fruitcake there. I would like a mug of something. Well, what color should I make the mug? And I made the mug the style that my mom had when I was growing up. So there was, he's passed away. There was a pottery artist that was near where my mom grew up and where my grandma still lives. And so I did one of those because we grew up with that, like dishware when I was a kid. So that's very like homey to me. And so like by the time I had done that painting, my mom had been dead for almost a year. And my grandma has been longer than that, but I was thinking about it around Christmas, has been like falling into pretty severe dementia. So it was kind of like I turned this silly little thing that I was doing into a painting about grief. Because those items to me represented those two people to me. Like, if I wanted to honor my mom or my grandma, I would not paint them. I would paint something that makes me think of them. And that is something that's pretty common in neurodivergency, where we relate to items very strongly. So like if you think about throwing something away and you get upset about throwing it away because it'll make it sad, or if you're the kind of person who you wake up in the middle of the night and your stuffed animal's on the floor and you pick it up and say sorry before you go back to sleep, it's like that. Except I expand that to literally everything. Yeah, exactly, Oren. And that's super common in neurodivergency, to put a lot of weight on stuff. And I kind of realized this when I was sitting modeling, because like I'm sitting still for a very long time, so I have a lot of time to think, because I'm not like listening to anything or just sitting, because I was thinking about that while I was sitting modeling, because one of the teachers thinks that like the best way to improve your art skill is to do live model sessions, which I do not think that, but we have very different art styles. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, if I was going to draw like any person, like if I was going to make art relating to a person for me, it would be a thing that makes me think of them and not the actual person. So yeah, I think that's another way that my neurodivergency interacts with my art. Oh yeah, I got you, Oren. You can also do that for me. That's fine. Because yeah, I also have that list. For a while, I had a tag on Tumblr that was basically just size adds checkmark to neurodivergency stuff. I was like, yeah. You run into stuff and you're like, well, shit. And I will say, because this has become like a very relatable social media thing that people farm for content, research those things on your own too, please. Don't just take somebody on the internet's words at face value, because people will say shit like, oh, the reason you run into the corner of a wall is because you have ADHD, kind of a thing. It's like, no, actually, that's a wild misinterpretation of people having like spatial reasoning issues sometimes with various neurodivergencies. So like, don't take it at face value. Research it yourself. And find a source that is not TikTok, please, for the love of God. Because a lot of people are taking things that are just like, yes, this is actually a normal human thing that some humans do, and turning it into, this is neurodivergency. Please watch my other videos content. Yeah, for sure. So on Instagram specifically, because you can make little like save tags basically, so like little collections that you can see and nobody else can. And I have one called microdosing therapy where I put those things where it's like, oh, this person is saying a truth that really hit me and affected me deeply enough that I started tearing up. And it goes in that file. Because if you save stuff like that, you might recognize some patterns. Okay, I think that I'm making this line angled enough. It's feeling a little off. That's fine. Man, that little like blob right there is so much darker for you guys than it is for me. That's interesting. God, my neck hurts. One of the problems with, I think maybe this is also a neurodivergency thing, but I don't really have any proof for that. It's just an anecdote. I tilt my head like a lot whenever I'm painting or writing. And I think that makes my neck worse. I'm very much, like, when a dog tilts its head 45%, like, did that make more sense, buddy? That's very me. Except it's whenever I'm working, my head starts drifting. I am stretching, if you can't tell by my voice suddenly changing. Oh, I don't need to be careful about my arms touching my head anymore. Because it used to be that would make a loud sound for you guys, but no more. Alright, stretchy accomplished. Need to add some more shading here. For his little pob. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is like kind of like the 1,000-yard stare when you're trying to work something out. Which is fine until you realize that you're staring at somebody and freaking them out. That's happened to me before. I should add more shadow right there too, actually. Yeah. I still do that when I'm brain foggy, honestly. Although I don't have anybody who yells at me for it anymore. Which is nice. Okay. Yeah, if we ever have a discussion about some of my lore, there is somebody who you will want to fight because literally everybody else wants to fight and they don't even know the whole story. I definitely, if anybody needs a target, definitely have one. I'm very aware constantly that I could raise an army against this person without any difficulty whatsoever. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not entirely true. I would not force you to have to deal with him ever. And I don't think you really want to. Like, you may want to beat on him, but... yeah. Like, I wouldn't ban you from doing stuff. It's very much that, like, we'll joke between the two of us, like, oh, no, I can't do that. But it's not the kind of like, oh, I get to, sleep in and actually eat my own breakfast when my boyfriend's out of town because I get to do what I want kind of a thing. It's like, what are you talking about? Are you being held captive? What is happening here? Yeah, honestly. I did. Oh my God. I saw a reel today when I was scrolling trying to wake myself up. That this woman who was filming the reel has a small urn of her mother's ashes. So her mother's ashes were split between a few people. And she was like, I like keeping it so that I can yeet her when I'm mad at her. So like the last time I yeeted it was on my birthday. And now it's her birthday and I want to yeet it again, but I lost her. I don't know where she is. I thought I put her back after I yeeted her last time. And I didn't. So it's a video of her like looking under her couch and shit. It was so funny. I do love that people can like joke like that publicly. Because like it does take some work to get there, you know? Yeah, honestly, Bwib. It's very much the same where, like, people get mad that you aren't making eye contact with them. Like, neurodivergent people do that sometimes. And it's like, okay, do you want me to actually, like, be able to listen to you and what you are saying? Or what? Like, either way, if I do something, you're gonna think I'm rude. So, like... No, I don't think that's mean at all. Like honestly, if I'm gonna do another hot take today, there was just like a lighter spot there, so I've made it worse by putting more pigment on it. Very much the picking at your skin situation. I think, honestly, the mean thing is that surviving people who abuse them are expected to take care of the dead person's remains a certain way when that person, when they were alive, would not have given that much care to the person. And yeah, you are not under any obligation to tell your sister about it. So, like, a lot of times it's very much like we tell people when they're dealing with others who are alive to consider if that person would treat you the same way that you are treating them. Like, would they give you the same consideration that you're giving them? And I think that should also apply to remains. And, like, people get really weird about it because we're supposed to respect the dead or whatever. But if the dead didn't respect you, then fuck it. Yeah, see, I think that's perfectly reasonable, Aaron. And yeah, some people will not agree with that, but also it's not their choice, it's yours. So they can fuck off. Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Because, like, I can still be compassionate and still be like, actually, I will not give you the time of day. Like, because a lot of, it's the, what's the word for it? I was going to say it and then it completely left my brain. The, that's not the full term. Tolerance, discrepancy. The second word is not the one that I mean, but I can't come up with the one that I mean. Where, like, conservatives who are taking away other people's rights will say, oh, so much for the tolerant left, kind of a thing, when people finally snap back after they've been abused for a really long time. And it's like, putting up with everybody's bullshit and not having boundaries is not being tolerant. And it's not being compassionate. So they're making a false situation in order to make you the bad guy. Because they don't want to actually take accountability for their actions, which is a common situation with a lot of abusers too. Well, they were turned the situation so that they're the victim. Because it takes focus off of what they have done and makes the argument about something completely different. So it takes the actual, like, blame away and puts it into, like, either onto you or into, like, this vague concept of the straw man that they've made up in their heads. And it's the same for compassion, because at a certain point somebody has not earned, like, they have lost the right to you caring about other people. And, like, you can still respect them as a human, you can still believe that they deserve to be housed and fed, but that doesn't mean that you always have to be kind to them. And everybody gets to make that decision on their own. Honestly, yes, I guess I'm just a terrible parent. That, yeah, you are. Thank you for realizing it. They don't like it when you say it that way. They aren't expecting you to just agree with that. If you say thank you for taking accountability, they get real mad. Yeah, like, you're so close. Just open the door and walk through it. You almost got there. Trying to decide what I want to do next here. Maybe just block in some base colors on the cat and then maybe call it. I would kind of like to get the ear fluff vaguely done there. Just so that I don't forget that I need to use green behind that to make it come through correctly. Which I can really just kind of do like this. It'll be fine. No, you're fine, Oren. I have a bachelor's in cultural anthropology with minors in history and art. And technically, I guess I do have multiple degrees because I also have an associate. But I just used the credits from my bachelor's to also get the associate's degree so that I don't have to do GREs if I decide to go back to school. Or GERs. Wrong order. I was gonna say no, I don't, but I actually do. I just don't think about it. The associates is just like general studies. Oh yeah, I guess I was also I'm gonna say this wrong on purpose for funsies. Yeah, my degree is also cum laude. It's also cum laude. It's like, I actually see an opportunity for a joke there. I think I'll take it. I'm just gonna go through a little bit and clean up some of the edges, I think. What is this little bloop? Why do I have a bloop here? What are you? I see. I see what you are. You're fuzz. So let's work on carving that out a little bit. Yeah, okay. Is that actually how that is in the reference? Not really, but after that it's some cum loud. So the more academic are you, the less loudly you get to come, actually, which is why I decided to not go for a master's degree. Because yeah, the reason that I have the culture anthropology and then the history and art together was because I was planning on doing a master's in museum studies, and then my mental health tanked entirely, and I was lucky to just survive that, so I didn't end up going to grad school. Which, like, that road is not completely closed to me, but I don't think that's where I'm headed anymore. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Doctor nurse. Yeah, I like that web. Welcome back, Rainbow. Have you successfully avoided the nap? Excellent. Good work. I also would have said good work if you took the nap too, honestly. Good work on resting. Yep, exactly. Either you get the rest you need or you get extra time. Which I considered taking a nap the other day and I just straight up did not have time for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel that Illuminati hardcore. And honestly, the market for the kind of things that I would want to do is tanking really hard right now, because any sort of humanities studies is being attacked at the moment, especially in the US, but elsewhere also. Because heaven forbid we understand other humans instead of trying to murder them. What's that about? Excellent. was I doing? Over here. Like, I turned this for a reason. Why did I do that? I will say this modeling session, like I had another modeling session on Monday, and it wasn't even the late class, but this one really took me out. So I had a fever yesterday because my body don't work right. Yeah, for sure, Arya. We will bounce back, but it would have been like, that is something that I point out to my dad too, that like, even if I had followed my original career path, there is no guarantee that I actually would be doing well right now. You know? Not that that really makes a difference, but it makes me feel better to say it. You say that like it's a bad thing. Like, oh no, my boyfriend is talking about me and how we, you know, synergize on all of our art. What a horrible fate. You're gonna buy me a coffee too? Like... Ooh, good luck, Blib. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't ask you to buy me a coffee. I would ask you to buy me my usual tea. Which you did repeatedly when I visited, so. And I actually remembered my order after the first time, too. I said my order once, and Cap remembered it for the rest of the time I was there. Yeah, that was more for the benefit of the audience than for you, Cap. I do have coffee occasionally, but not super often. When I do, it's out of a shitty cake cup. Although Starbucks coffee, just like, my stomach does not like it. It does not get along. My Nintendo drink? I don't get the joke. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried about painting this paw because the reference image I have isn't very good. And it's like the focus of the entire piece. And I'm sure it'll end up fine. Like, I can manage it, but it might not look how it looks in my head, and then I will be crazy. Let me lay in some pink on the tongue, I think. And then maybe on the paw pads down here. Because I don't think I want to give this area more detail than it has right now. I think I want to focus on the kitty cat. I'm disconnected again. Alright. I've been talking and nobody knows. All right, for the benefit of the stream recording, our internet went out again. So I'm going to end stream here. We were at a good stopping spot anyway. And I will be back on Friday. Okay, bye.